YouTube, what's up? Today we're going to be going over a couple basics of the CLI. In particular, I want to go over how to configure an IP address on a one multi-layer switch and two a router, but most importantly the router. So let's get started. So as you guys can see right here, CML operates a little bit differently than Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer usually open it up and get straight into the labs. With CML, you need to use a web-based environment. And as you can see right here, you have to type in the IP address that you see on the on the VMware. It's 192.168.1.57. 192.168.1.557. And as you can see, this is the dashboard for the CML. We're going to get into this lab right here. All right, so here I have a multi-layer switch and a router. We're going to start off by turning both of them on. And we're going to configure a IP address or pretty much an IP address on both interfaces of a link that we're going to add on here. So let's start by adding this link. So we're going to do for the G00 going upwards and G01 going downwards, downstream. So we're gonna, essentially we'll treat this as if this is the distribution layer, which I'll get into a little bit later. That has to do with more of the design concept of architecture. So typically you would have a core layer where primarily most of your routing is going to be occurring, routing going outside your network. You have a distribution layer, which pretty much aggregates all the routing or all the I guess traffic flow from your internal network, your access layer, which is pretty much essentially where you will, like right here, I would have another switch, and then to the switch I would have all the end users, end devices. So your printers, your laptops, desktops, and everything connected to the switch, and even access points as well, to be able to grant access to other wireless users within the environment. So essentially how it typically goes is you would have the access switch or access device going upstream into your distribution. Your distribution aggregates and distributes the traffic flow into the core layer or core network. And from there, essentially you would have redundancy, and redundancy is essentially having more than one device, in case of failover, because you can't have one device and fully rely on just one. You need to be able to build a redundant network by having multiple backups for it and backup different paths for it to follow. So typically you would have two switches or more, two routers or more, depending on how your organization is structured. But those are a couple of things, a couple of basics. So now let's configure this router. Open up this console. Oh man, okay. Enable the open console, please retry once node has restarted. What is going on here? Okay. So quick, a little bit of a glitch, but it seems like everything is good. Okay, the router is up and running, and the switch, multi-layer switch, is up and running. Okay, so now let's get into the router. As you guys remember, it was router to get into user privilege mode is EN, and global configuration mode, which where the changes we're gonna make is gonna occur. So conf t, let's configure terminal. And if you want to create an IP address on a router interface, the command is IP address, and then you need to configure an IP address and a subnet mask. You'll learn a little bit more about that later in the series, but for now, just know this is the virtual address that identifies this, I guess, this path or this interface. So for this, we're going to use a private IP, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. but 192.168 dot let's just say 1.1, and we'll make this a /30. 255.255.252. And the other end would be 192.168.1.2 with the same subnet mask. So when you're configuring a link between two routed or two layer 3 devices, and you make it a /30, essentially the next IP has to follow within that same subnet mask. And in the /30, there is only 2 usable IPs that you could use. So essentially, the next IP in that range, you need to follow it with the next usable IP within that range. So, okay, invalid input detection as wow. Okay, looks like it's not taken. Let's see. Oh, okay. I completely forgot one thing. You need to go into the interface. Completely slipped my mind. So the interface G0/1, and then you would input the IP. And as you guys remember before, we could just scroll up to reinitialize the IP address or the old command that we put in. So that's scrolling up on your keypad. It's your arrow buttons, your up and down. So, as you guys know, in a router interface, the interfaces are automatically shut down by default. So you need to turn them on. So after you input the command on the interface, that you input a IP address, you need to no shut the interface to be able to bring it up. So, see, as you see, it went from down to up. And as you guys know, all good engineers verify their work. So show IP int brief. And as you can see right here, the interface G01 we just configured has an IP address. It's the 192.168.1.1. It's okay. It's manually configured. The status is up. So it's good to go. But in order for it to be useful, you need to be able to have some connectivity or be able to reach the other end. So let's configure this other end right here. En CompT interface G0/0 IP address 192.168.1.2 255.255.255.252. Oops. 2. Okay. Oh, okay. So since this is a multi-layer switch, this is another thing to know. Automatically, the interfaces are configured as switch ports by default. So in order to revert it into a routed port, you need to type in the command no switch port. As you guys will see in a minute, it will convert it. See? Convert it over into a routed port. So now we're able to add the command. And as you guys know, let's skip the configuration steps and retype that in because we already configured it. So now no shut. It's probably already on, but that's just a habit to get into whenever you're trying to turn on a routed port. But as you guys can see, this no shut, the interface is already up, so we don't need it on a multi-layer switch once you turn the interface from a switch port into a routed port. As you guys know, verify your work. Okay. Yeah, as you guys can see, I mistyped something over in the user privilege mode, and this happens from time to time. So essentially, it's making as far as I know, it's making a DNS server request. for the command that we inputted incorrectly. So it takes a little bit of time, and now it's good. So now let's verify show IP int brief. So let's show IP interface brief for the long version of this. Now that we have the interface IP address configured and the status is up, let's ping the other end. And the command to ping a different side of an IP address is ping, and then the destination that you were trying to reach. So in this case, we're trying to reach the other end of this 192.168.1.0 network. So the other end would be .1 that we just configured on the other interface, 168.1.1. Right here, it's sending a ICMP echo response. It sends five of them total. As you can see, it was 80%. And that first initial one that failed, that's because of the ARP process that's occurring. I will talk a little bit more about the ARP process later on, but just know that that's usually what occurs whenever devices are trying to reach out to other devices that they have no idea or no knowledge of. So essentially, that first initial communication between devices, that's what's going to occur, that ARP request. And as you guys can see, this is able to actually ping the other end. So we have successfully configured a routed port. In this case, this is a directly connected port right here. So whenever you configure IPs on interfaces of the opposite end devices, you want to verify that they can reach each other since they're directly connected. If we had another device here, like a third router up here, we would need to configure routing in order to be able to reach from this router or this multi-layer switch over to the router up top. But that's a different topic for a different day. So that's all for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. Um, comment and let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.